This interview is a paid advertisement. It was produced on behalf of the company and is considered investor relations activity under Canadian securities law. All statements and opinions are those of the guest and should not be construed as investment advice. Please do your own due diligence or consult a registered investment advisor. Hello and welcome back to the Gold Newsletter channel. My name is Kai Hoffmann. I'm the @JR Mining guy over on X, and of course, your host of this channel. And I'm looking forward to bringing you a breaking news special, but also a company update and an outlook for 2026. I'll be joined in a few short seconds by Ian Harris. He's the CEO over at Outcrop Silver and Gold. The company just released some drill results from resource definition drilling, something we should be talking about. And of course, we'll get Ian to talk about the plans for 2026. What do they have in the books? Or what are they planning to release here to the investment community? So lots to talk about. But before I switch over to my guest, we highly appreciate you hitting the like and subscribe button. Helps us out tremendously, reach a wider investor audience, especially if you are maybe perhaps a shareholder or stakeholder in the company. So thanks so much for doing that. Now, Ian, it's great to welcome you back on the program. It's good to see you again. Happy New Year, and thanks so much for joining us here.
Yeah, it's a good start of the year, good end of the year. So, hitting that subscribe and like button is, actually happening now. You see a whole lot more activity. People feel like they can go and say, hey, look at this result, look at what's going on, check this out. Because people are paying attention, right? There's a lot of new eyeballs in the sector, and that's fairly exciting. So keeping everybody educated and understanding what's going on is more critical than ever.
Exactly. And stock picking is getting more important as well because, first gains were made and now it's a stock picker's market. So might as well be diligent and educate yourself. And at $95 silver, $4,700 gold as we record this, it's important. So tremendously appreciate any support, hitting that like and subscribe button. But Ian, we got to talk about Outcrop Silver and Gold. You put out some drill results, resource definition drilling, of course, happening at Santa Ana. Run us a bit through the highlights and help us understand how do we turn that into ounces?
So absolutely. So Santa Ana continues to deliver, right? We've 2024 really was a big year for us, being able to show how this project can grow. 2025, we continued to demonstrate how it could be done and building confidence that this project's going to grow. The majority, it has an existing resource in the northeast. It's overall a 17-kilometer trend. So we're about halfway down, focusing mostly in the middle section for this next update. And the Aguilar vein, while market still loves the screamer holes that come out of Santa Ana sometimes, Aguilar is the vein that just keeps on giving. It just has been so consistent. We have kilometers and kilometers now of strike and continuing to hit. And these type of results that we showed yesterday are just the filling in of the holes, right? You got a piece here, you got a piece here, you got a piece here, and it's just demonstrating this is an extremely consistent vein. And as a mining engineer, this is really what I like, right? That you just have an area that will continue to provide ounces as we fill in those gaps. Those ounces convert. That drilling will convert to ounces in the upcoming drill mineral resource update. So it's exciting for us, right? Because we just continue to deliver, right? For many, it might be boring, but for us, it's obviously exciting that we're able to continue to demonstrate that the ounces are accumulating.
Absolutely. No, that's key, and especially grade is also quite interesting. 214 grams silver, 583 grams of silver as well. So you're getting some decent hits there, Ian.
Yeah, and what's more important is how consistent it is, right? That we continuously see 300, 500, 1,000, 700, 600 off of this vein, and it's very, very disseminated, right? Sometimes when people see hits, it's hard to understand because it's very spotty, right? But this just continues to have primary silver, which is really important in this market because that's what people are looking for. Really, is their leverage to silver price. And Santa Ana, continues to have the last resource update. 73% of the value is silver. The remaining is all gold. So no lead, no zinc, none of these other things. And so that it continues to demonstrate as a primary silver over a long extent, right? The question mark was, is it just in the Northeast? Nope. This trend just continues to deliver primary silver ounces at high grade.
No, absolutely. Trying to understand a bit, like it's confidence building, of course. Maybe run us a bit through the plans for the resource update. What are you planning to include, and how important are the drill results that you just put out here for that update?
Very, very, very soon, we are going to say, that's it. That's the last one that we're going to get in. It takes a lot of work to develop and update a resource estimate, right? Each one of these veins, you literally develop a wireframe based on the drilling. Everything has to be checked 15 times. It's reviewed and reviewed and reviewed for accuracy. Really, you do a little mini resource estimate on each one of those veins. So we've been going through the catalog. Aguilar is one of the last ones because we continue to fill in these gaps to show the consistency. And then, the next big step is doing the resource update or announcing the resource update. But in the background, we don't really stop, right? We currently have 4 drills running at the Santa Ana project, and they will continue to run. The only question mark is, do we keep 4 drills through the entire year, or do we keep, pull it back to 3 again? But it's looking at the next stage, right? So my goals, and I've been saying it, have been very consistent, which is nice, maybe boring, right? But, we said 2024, we're going to demonstrate how this thing is going to get bigger. 2025, we continue to demonstrate it, and then say we're working now towards a resource update to demonstrate that we can take a big step, not small steps, but big steps in increasing the resource, right? Because that's where our value currently is derived, right? It's basically simplified, overly simplified. It's $1 per ounce in the ground. So if you're adding ounces, you are adding value to your shareholders. Plus you have the leverage, it helps having extreme tailwind. Sounds weak, right? When you talk about where silver price is today, but that is the advantage of Outcrop. It can provide value because we'll continue to grow, and we have the significant leverage because there are just so few primary silver projects out there. And, I remember a presentation by Sean Kunkun who said, well, there's 7 real good projects out there. Last year there was 10, and I think there's 5 now. So it's like they are continuing to be less and less opportunities of people where they can take advantage of that leverage. Moving forward, though, it is the push to get close to 100. If we can get to 100, that'd be fantastic. But I want to be near the 100 million ounce number, and we will start doing like a preliminary economic assessment and start attaching the economics to the project. So then you're going basically PEA, PFS, and then make a decision if you want to, do your construction off the PFS or go all the way through FS. One of my models is Vizsla. I really like the way that they continue to increase the resource, convert it to economics, and continue to generate their valuation during that entire time. Even if silver went sideways, their valuation would continue to improve as they derated the project. So that's the way I think about it. Maintain your valuation, increase your valuation, and make sure when you make these big changes from a resource company to a development company that you can continue to create more value for your shareholders for way less than you're spending. And I think that's probably the last thing, right? Our total budget, last year, I think was 12 million. We went up because we had the money. We added more drills. We were somewhere around the 15 million Canadian mark. So we were, for a very small spend, we're creating a significant amount of value. And that's the way I want to keep it, right? So really tight on the spend, lots in the value.
Absolutely. No, 24.1 million ounces silver equivalent already in the book. So do you think you'll reach the 100 million with the next resource update? Like, I'm poking the bear here to see what comes out, but how close are we? It's
37 combining. That's just the indicated number. So the indicated plus inferred is about 37. So, it'll be tough for us to get to 100, but there's still a little bit of geology in this whole mix, right? There's always, if you knew what was underground, you wouldn't have to drill. We have the targets where I'm convinced we can continue make a big step up. And I'd like to do things on kind of an annual basis to see where we're at. But I think it could take us a little, maybe instead of 12 months, 18 months. But we'll see how it goes.
What about silver price or metal price assumptions in general? Like you're quoting silver equivalent here. What are you going to use moving forward? Because quite honestly, it doesn't make sense to keep the old prices updated here at $95 an ounce for silver. What are your plans here?
So a little bit of an education, right? So when we talk silver prices and gold prices for the resource size, it doesn't dramatically change it. If we go from a $20 silver to a $40 silver, really doesn't dramatically change the resource. It can lower your cutoff, but we have seen that we're more structurally controlled than actually cutoff controlled, if that makes any sense. Basically, where the vein is, it's normally under our cutoff anyways. So even if we lower the cutoff, you're not adding more ounces. So it doesn't make a significant impact. Where it makes a bigger impact is the ratio between the gold price and the silver price, because you're converting these gold ounces into silver ounces. I think we used around an 85 historically in the last resource update. And there was a time there where gold was really on fire and silver was lagging. But since we look at 2-year and 3-year numbers, it might not make that massive of a difference. There's going to be a change, but it basically changes. Does a gold ounce become more silver ounces, or is it less silver ounces? And that's where the impact is. Where it really has an impact, obviously, is on the economic studies, right? Because it's what you get paid. So at our stage, it's not going to have a massive impact. But looking forward, obviously, the 2-year trailing and 3-year trailing averages in silver continue to climb and climb and climb, where we really haven't seen a massive increase in our OPEX or CAPEX yet, right? So normally when prices go up, then sometimes, inflation becomes a problem. We're not seeing it, especially in Colombia, because where are our biggest impacts? It's number one is labor. Number two is fuel, and then maybe you say for capital, it's the cost of iron, for example, and power, which is also associated. And those things really haven't moved in country. What's probably affecting us more is the peso is getting stronger. It's actually gained versus the U.S. and Canadian dollar, but still, it's nowhere close to the acceleration in prices. And something since I've since 1997, I've seen a cycle. Most is this a bubble? Whatever. You have silver up, you have gold up, you have copper up, you have lots of commodities up. It definitely feels like the start of another super cycle, which are normally 10-year events. So it's worth the time for people to get up to speed, get educated, understand this industry more, because I think it's going to be a very long productive cycle. And for those that have been around for the 14 years waiting for this, obviously it's very happy times.
Absolutely. Yeah. Welcome to the club here. Started my company in 2011. So yeah, good times. What's your biggest constraint so far, you would say? It seems like this time around, it can't be cash, is it?
No, I mean, I remember telling somebody, I said, I haven't had 2 years in runway since 2011. So, since around that time where we were kind of at the end of the last cycle, we had that 2008, it died, it popped back up. And then it was like, there's still some ships there. The keg still was not floating yet, but it came to an end at the end of 2012 and beginning of 2013 to have that much runway. So we have a significant amount of runway, about 25 million in the bank. We have, I think, about 12 million worth of warrants that are all in the money expiring over the next 12 months. So money is no longer a constraint. So it changes from, I lose sleep now for good reasons, not for bad reasons. How do we make this better, right? Not, oh my God, what are we going to do? So really the biggest constraint is we went from 2 drills to 3 drills to 4 drills. And I've got to admit, the biggest delivery has not, this is going to sound terrible, has not been from the exploration team. They've obviously delivered, so I'm not saying that. It's really the relationships locally, the ability to do right-of-ways, do the infrastructure, because it's a lot of drill moves, a lot of pads, a lot of geochemistry, lots of roads, a lot of water lines. It's all that logistical piece. And we would never have been able to do this if we're taking 3 months to negotiate a right-of-way on individual lands. I think we went from an incredible number that I thought was 2024. I think we did about 200 plus right-of-way agreements. And in 2025, we did 440. So that's about relationship, because it means there's trust there, that it doesn't take as long. We haven't really increased the team that's actually getting these agreements done. But it's the level of trust. And without that, we wouldn't be able to drill on the areas we want to drill as quickly as we want to. So there's been the real behind this, the velvet curtain, that has been the real delivery here, is that our ability to add the drills and be able to continue to accelerate the project.
No, fantastic. Like, run us a bit through catalysts next 3 to 6 months here, Ian. Like, of course, you're kicking off the resource update, but anything else we should be paying attention to?
So the nice thing is the drill results work now. Like before, they were a kind of a liquidity event, and you kind of got nervous if am I going to put this out on a day that silver goes up or silver goes down, because it just gives people a chance to buy or sell. But now looks like drill hole results really are a driver. We've got this quarter we'll definitely be putting out the updated resource estimate. And then looking forward, right, it's beyond the 6-month area. We'll obviously be working on the next resource and then looking at the initial economics. But there are other catalysts. A big one is we're looking on doing a U.S. listing, right? We have the capitalization, we have everything in line, and looking at doing a U.S. listing. Why? Because we see the buying coming out of the United States. We see that 75% of the hits on our website are coming out of the United States. There's a strong market in the United States. And I think that will be an important catalyst. We uplisted from the TSXV to the TSX, so we continue to mature as a company. And that maturity also going from a pure retail story. We now have the institutionals. Jupiter came in with a 9.9 and really getting and that for shareholders is stability, right? That you see these long-term shareholders. Eric Sprott went from 14, he's now at 21%. All of that adds, reduces the overall bottom end, I guess, of the valuation. So that's a big one. And then the next is that people are watching. Honestly, it doesn't massively impact us, but it does impact market. Is we have elections, presidential elections in Colombia in May as the first round, and the second round is in June. And I know that will be something that market is watching.
No, fantastic. Yeah, lots going on, and lots of drill results, 4 drill rigs turning. So it'll be fantastic to see those come out and really show the upside here of a pure play silver project, which is, as you said yourself, very rare. Doesn't exist.
Very rare.
It's like a unicorn. So
I say a unicorn wearing a tuxedo that might be able to fly. But yes, they're not very many, and it's obviously a very good time to have a true primary high grade silver project in this current market.
Absolutely. No, fully agree. Ian, really appreciate the update. It's always great to see you. I'll see you up in Vancouver. Looking forward to catching up at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. We'll be there, and much appreciated.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you.
Safe travels. I'll see you there, and everybody else. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Gold Newsletter. Bit of a breaking news update, but also an Outlook corporate update here from Outcrop Silver and Gold. Perfect timing to put out some decent drill results, and perfect timing to have a pure play silver project in the world as well. So thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Helps us out tremendously, reach a wider audience. We just appreciate it. So thanks so much for doing that, and I'll see you in Vancouver.